All right, Shalom, this is your brother Shamar from Phoenix. With that being said, I want to give all honor, glory, and praise to Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Rakakadash. Double honors to the elders of Great Millstone, and peace and salutation to the brothers doing this work in truth and sincerity. I'm just going to jump right into it. This is Matthew 7 and 14. This is because straight is the gate, and narrow is the way which leadeth unto life, and few there be that find it, man. So that straight gate is this truth, this work that we're doing, man, because it requires a lot of you to be in this truth, man. You know, it requires sacrifice. It requires that Romans 12 and 1, the reasonable sacrifice. You know, and then it separates you from the rest of the world. So the rest of the world, you know, they'll look evil upon you, man. They'll talk shit about you. They'll scoff at you. You know, you are put up as a target because they ultimately hate Yahweh B'Hashem Yahweh Shai, man. You know, and that's why it's called the straight gate, because that word straight means difficult, and it is a difficult path, man. It's a harsh walk, and it's not for everybody. You know, Apostle Ramlab made a video a couple of days ago, last week I think it was, and he was describing how, you know, being in this truth and believing what believing, you know, we should be put in a loony bin, man. We should, you know, it's a crazy thing that we do. I mean, to the majority, to the so-called normal people, you know, what we do and our mentality and what we sacrifice and what we believe in, to the average person it's nuts. They can't fathom that, you know, that we have this hope, that we have this faith, and we believe what we believe, man, and we believe, you know, the truth, so to speak. But the truth is harsh, man, and it's meant to cut you. You know, it's a two-edged sword, and it cuts right down to the marrow of your bone, man, the scripture says, roughly paraphrasing. And that's why it's called the straight gate, man. It says few there be that find it, man. So there's few in this life that the Lord will lead to this truth. And that's just a harsh reality, man. You know? I know brothers can testify, me myself, when you first come in, you want to tell everybody about, you know, this good news that you heard. You know, knowing that we're the Israelites, knowing that the Most High and the Son are so-called black men or Negroes, man. Knowing that they're not these white crackers, faggots that they've been pushing upon us all our lives. And that's a beautiful thing, man, when you first hear it, to know that we are actually the people of the Lord, man. But when you what happens is you realize that you get scoffed and scorned, you know, and you see that them demons come out when you try to tell people that, you know. That's why it's called a straight gate, man, because it is a difficult path. And with that, I want to get Acts 14 and 22. This is Acts 14 and 22. And it says, and when they had preached the gospel to the city, and had taught many, they returned again to Lystra, Iconium, and Antioch, confirming the souls of the disciples, and exhorting them to continue in the faith, and that we must through much tribulation enter the kingdom of Yahweh. So through much tribulation, are we gonna attain that penny, man? It's not gonna be an easy road. The Lord made it that way because the reward is great. Because the reward is so great that that's why the price is so heavy. You know, because the reward is so great. And basically, you wouldn't want it any other way. If the Lord made it too easy for us, and we got all that glory that He promised, the Most High, when we be those elect men, you're gonna feel undeserving of it, man. So the Lord had to make it difficult, and that's to try and test you, because it's gonna be worth it, man. The price is heavy because the reward is great, man. I'm gonna read that back again. Confirming the souls of the disciples and exhorting them to continue in the faith. And that's what we do on a daily basis, man. The brothers putting out their videos. And even that's going to end pretty soon. You know, that famine of the word, it's already, the beginnings of it is already here. You know, now at this present moment, we can put up videos and we can, you know, exhort one another. We can go out to the highway edges, but pretty soon that's going to stop, man. And then that's when things are going to escalate. And that's when the second part of this scripture is going to come into effect. And that we must through much tribulation, that's when that tribulation is going to come, man. Enter into the kingdom of Yahweh. So that's what it is, man. That's a tribulation that we have to prepare ourselves for. That's why it's called the straight gate, the path of difficulty. You know, and that's why it requires a certain man, a certain character, and a certain mentality to able to do these things and to sacrifice what he sacrificed, man. Because you're gonna catch hell on every side, man. I myself can testify, and brothers can testify, man, that when you cleave on to this truth, everything goes against you. You get looked at, you get looked upon as a bad guy. You're bad. You big fingers get pointed at you, man. And you gotta take the L when that happens. A lot of time you gotta take the L. You know, most of the time you wanna you wanna say something and talk some shit back, but you know that you gotta bite your tongue most of the time because you can't really say nothing, man. Because all that's gonna lead is to more fucking hostility. And you know, we just try. And the thing you gotta do is you gotta try to minimize the hell that you catch the best of your ability, man. So don't throw more fuel on the fire, so to speak. You know, the path that we walk is difficult enough. You know, we walk it. We all walking it alone. We all bearing our own burden. We all bearing our own cross. You know, so it'll be circumspect of you to try to make that path as distraction free as possible. And in doing that, that means giving up a lot of things and putting a lot of things to the side. And when you do that, sometimes you get fingers pointed at you. You know, you get told different things, like, oh, I don't know why you doing this. Why you doing that? Or how come you do this now? And you used to do this before. It's just a lot of bullshit that goes your way. But that's part of the price, man, to take these L's in this truth. You know, because we're not supposed to love our life anyways. Because the majority of brothers, when they heard this truth, when you know they were seeking and searching, they were going through the YouTube videos. You know, they probably stumbled upon other camps, and you know they kind of sparked their interest, or you know, and that led them to further research and further watching the videos. And brothers stumbled upon a GMS video, and then the Spirit told them that was it. You know, and a lot of brothers that I talked to, they testified of that, man. And with that, I'm going to get Isaiah 30 and 21 to prove that, man, because the Spirit leads you to this. The Spirit's going to lead whoever it wants to this truth, whoever it wants in this truth. So to tell everybody about it is not wise. You know, the Lord set a format and a platform for the truth to be revealed, and then when the Lord so desires, he's going to cut off that platform, because even though Esau thinks that he's cutting down the truth, that he's taking the truth off the internet, he's not, man. The Lord's doing that. The Lord's the Esau thinking that he's stopping the truth, but he's not, man. He's just fulfilling prophecies, which helps the truth. Like the scripture says, man, you can't do nothing against the truth, roughly paraphrasing. But the Lord's going to have to say so when he cuts off those platforms of speaking this truth on the internet, on the unicorn, because that's fulfilling of his prophecy, man. Was that I'm going to get Isaiah 30 and 21. It says, and thine ears shall hear the word behind. Well, I'll start at verse 20. And though the Lord give you the bread of adversity and the water of affliction, yet shall not my teachers be removed into a corner any more, but thine eyes shall see thy teachers. And that's the present day where we're living right now. And thine eyes shall hear a word behind thee, saying, this is the way, walk ye in it, and when you turn to the right hand, and when you turn to the left. And then when the Most High has sealed his elect, and all the men that were supposed to hear this truth have heard it, then the Lord's going to cut that platform off, man. And that's the next step, because we see that next step coming closely. It could all happen all at once. It could be famine of the word, mark of the beast, you know, it could be famine. All these prophecies can happen in one day if the Lord so desires. We don't know how it's going to play out, but we know that all the prophecies are going to get fulfilled. You know, instead I'm going to get Jeremiah 6 and 16. This is Jeremiah 6 and 16. It says, thus says the Most High Yahweh, stand ye in the ways and see, and ask for the old paths. Because look, but if you read the Old Testament, you read about the prophets and the patriarchs. They had a difficult life, man. All the prophets had a difficult life. So that's talking about that straight gate, that path of difficulty. They give perfect examples of walking that path of difficulty. Yahweh Shai gave a perfect example of walking that path of difficulty, that straight gate, because he went through hell. The prophets went through hell. The patriarchs went through hell. So that's why we seek the old ways as inspiration, man. Stand ye in the ways and see, and as for the old paths, where is the good way, and walk therein. So the scriptures are written for examples of edification and exhortation to the men that are walking this straight gate, man. And ye shall find rest for your souls, but they said we will not walk therein. That's 2/3, man. These 2/3, they don't want to adhere to the scriptures. They cast it aside. But the time's gonna come where they're gonna be looking for this truth and they're not gonna be able to find it, man. That famine of the word, talking about in the book of Amos, I believe. Also I set watchmen over you, saying, hearken to the sound of the trumpet, but they said we will not hearken. So that trumpet is being blown right now, but when the Lord so desires, the trumpet blowing time is going to stop. And then it's going to time for the Lord to come down upon these heathens and these 2/3 and these Edomites. And then to test the faith of the men that he has chosen from the foundation of the world. That hour of temptation, man. That Jacob's trouble. The microchip. The mark of the beast. Famine of bread. The uprisings of the people. The race riots. World War III. The nuclear missiles. All these things, man, that we have been talking about. That brothers in the truth, the brothers that have been on the highways and hedges, been prophesying about. All these things are going to come to pass, man. And then they shall know that a prophet was among them, man. Roughly paraphrasing, but that's exactly what's going to happen, man. With that, I'm going to close it out with Romans 9:28. Just a real quick lesson here at the plantation. This is Romans 9:28. And it says, for he will finish the work and cut it short in righteousness, because a short work will the Most High make upon the earth. So he's going to finish his work, man. He started it. He's going to finish it. He's going to make it a short work, man, because the days will be shortened for the elect's sake, the scripture says. So that's our hope, man. So it's going to be hell, but the Lord's going to make it a short work, man, for the mercy of the elect. And Most High willing, we be those men, the brothers that are a great millstone, and other brothers in different camps teaching the same doctrine. With that, Most High willing, the hope it was edifying. With that, we'll say Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai. Shalom.